Welcome to the Dragon's Library, your source for games, movies, shows, and more. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dragon's Library. So today, I've got something fun to review, a new video game. Well, new in the sense that it came out 3 months ago. What can I say? I'm slow. I'm okay. So if you haven't figured out from the title, today we're going to be reviewing Deathloop. And I gotta say, this is one of the most fun games I've played in years. It's fantastic. Love it. I'm going to get that out right there. I'm going to probably be grading this around like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Just a solid, good game. What it does very well. So for those of you who don't know, the basic premise of Deathloop is that you wake up on an island with no memory, and you're trapped in a single-day time loop. Groundhog Day style. Or more of Edge of Tomorrow style, because you're constantly being murdered. You've gone rogue and want to end the time loop, but the new security officer who took over for you, named Juliana, let the whole island know because she's the only other person aside from you who remembers what happens in between each loop. She constantly tries to stop you, alerts everyone else on the island, so they're trying to stop you. Your goal is to kill the 7 visionaries who are keeping the time loop stable, with yourself being the last one. Once you kill all of them, the time loop will be broken. Or maybe you'll decide you want to keep the time loop going. It's up to you. This is from Arcane Studios, same people brought you Dishonored. So if you played any of those games, it's a very similar style of play. Although it actually improves upon the Dishonored formula in a few ways for me. See, one of the major problems with Dishonored was the moral choice system. It was just kind of bland and boring, with a real binary, did you make sure to non-lethally take down everyone, and do the character assassination option for everyone, for all the major targets, instead of the regular murdery assassination? Goody for you, you get the good ending. Hey, did you kill too many people and or kill any of your targets with physical murder? You get the bad ending, where you're a brutal dictator because you killed the people who took revenge on you in order to save the innocent girl. It's like, Deathloop doesn't have that. There are no real non-lethal takedowns. Now, there is a whole thing of, there are some achievements for killing the visionaries without killing any of the Eternalists who follow them, but it's not a required part of the game. It doesn't unlock any unique endings. What you get is what you get. The whole game is broken down into 4 time periods with 4 different areas. One of the areas isn't available at noon, so you have 15 unique states for you to visit. Each one has lots of secrets, some of which involve having to go to other time period specific places at time periods, sometimes even earlier in the day in order to get certain results. Your goal is to line up all the visionaries so that so you can knock all of them off in a single day, because they have a protocol that prevents them from being in all the places they need to be for you to take them out, all hidden inside bunkers and stuff like that. But they're human beings, they make mistakes, so you gotta find them and you gotta exploit them. It's all very murder mystery, but in reverse. Like, you gotta figure out how to set up the perfect assassination to take down all 7 of them. Like, imagine if somebody were, like, doing a murder mystery of how 7 people that were sustaining a time loop suddenly keeled over dead one day, and you were figuring out exactly what happened. Yeah, that in reverse. It's really fun. Really like it. Highly recommend. It's a great stylized game. It has this real 1960s vibe. It's amazing. I really like this too. The interplay you have with Juliana is fantastic. All in all, it has good gunplay, nice mobility options later on in the game, a great mantling and pseudo parkour system lets you traverse the environment easy. A really intriguing core premise and mechanic, the time cycle is on, combined with ways of progression that makes it feel almost like a roguelike. All in all, you got a really good recipe. Arcane Studios, good on you for not sitting on your laurels with Dishonored and actually working to improve yourself as a studio. Keep going. I'm looking very much forward to this. I would love to see a sequel to this game. Absolutely, 100% on board for that. So yeah. That's the non-spoilery section of this review. I'm going to be getting into other stuff later, so if you don't want to hear about that, let me know. And, go play it, I guess. Come back when you're done. It's not that long a game. I think I finished in my first playthrough. I think I got to my first kill with all the visionaries in like 15 hours. So, you can probably knock this off in maybe 1 or 2 days if you really focus on doing nothing but. Maybe a week if you just want to play it intermittently like I did. Before you guys leave, before the spoiler section, be aware I will be doing a something special on the YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out. I'll be compiling a death montage of all the days I was brutally murdered during this, and trust me, there are a lot of them, so I'm gonna have a great selection. I'll set it to music and just have a fun old time making it. I want to try something different. Let me know how. Check it out. I will update the description or the show notes to give you guys a link to that when it goes live. Let me know how I did. It would really be a big help. So, from here on out, we're going to be talking spoilers. If you don't want to hear spoilers, let me know. And you can do that by pausing this video and or podcast, going away, playing the game, and coming back and listening anyway because you want to hear my voice. Seriously, please come back. I need the listens, I need the downloads, I need the views. So, spoiler section starts here. Okay, where to begin? So, we're playing as Colt, and you wake up on a beach, surrounded by beer bottles, with strange glowing messages floating in the air that Colt himself seems aware of. So let's see here. We're drunk, trapped on a freezing island in the middle of nowhere with water so cold it can actually kill you, and we're seeing hallucinations. So all in all, a pretty shit morning. Oh, and right before we woke up, we had a vision of this girl brutally murdering us while we asked, what is going on? What are you doing to me? So again, all in all, not our best day. So, you quickly head back to some libraries and look through some stuff with a strange voice egging you on. So you're being guided by these strange messages floating in the air, constantly questioning what the heck is going on, and you're contacted over your radio, your little mini hacking device / radio, by Juliana. And she's the new head of security. She goes on the radio when you first wake up and lets everyone know you betrayed the Aeon program and are trying to get them all killed and break the loop, so everybody needs to stop what they're doing and immediately start shooting you. So, yeah. Juliana just has a great voice actor. Top props to her. Azioma? She's great. I love her so much. The banter she has with Colt is just fantastic. The two of them constantly going at it always make me want to go through and just show Juliana. And the dynamic she has with Colt is really interesting because Colt has lost his memories due to over-looping because him and Juliana are the only ones are around, and he's been dying so much that he's basically gone traumatic shock and repressed a lot of his memories. So he still knows things, and his inner memories along with alternate versions of himself are speaking to him through all the messages scrawled everywhere that only he can seem to see. It's really interesting, too, though, because at first, some of them seem to be, like, projected out of projectors, and you're kind of like, wait, am I going mad, or is this some kind of, like, hologram tech? I don't know what's going on here. Which is a running, theme in this whole thing. Which is just really interesting, all in all. Like, for a long time, you don't know if, wait, is Colt actually going insane, or is, like, something deeper going on, like, the message is coming from somewhere else? And it's kind of both and yes. Basically, once you get to the library and figure out the gist that you were, trying to break this loop and you gotta do this, Juliana ambushes you using a trap she set up, that she claims always works on you after you've forgotten everything, and telekinesically grabs you and stabs you and throws you off a cliff. However, you are grabbed by another version of yourself. Yeah, another version of you grabs your leg, starts screaming at you, yeah, you gotta break the loop, man, you gotta break the loop. Then Juliana stabs him, you continue to fall down the cliff, break your neck, and wake up again as the day resets once again. As you can tell, it's a little confusing. But that's basically the initial way it starts out. So one of the major interesting mechanics in this game is that Juliana can actually invade you, like Dark Souls style. So what happens is sometimes when you get spotted, you'll get an alert saying Juliana has invaded you. Now, if you're playing single player or offline, you get invaded by a bot, which has a slightly more advanced AI than some of the NPCs. But for the most part, you'll get invaded by other human players. And I highly recommend you play this game online. Seriously, play it online. You should definitely play it online. Basically, the whole idea is that you and all the other characters are running to a script. They're replaying the first day on the island over and over and over again. Only you and Juliana have the awareness, the human intellect essentially, to act of your own free will, remembering all the past loops. And so, human Julianas give you a real sense of an opponent. Someone with equal skill and powers that can match you mentally. Whereas everyone else, will react. When you learn how to distract a guy, it's like, alright, wait till he gets there, fire, he'll walk over there, stab him in the back, okay, next person, move on. They all act as AIs, essentially, because you know how they're going to react. And that's in character in the story. Whereas Juliana is unpredictable. And you just don't get that with a bot. The few times I did single player, it just wasn't the same. Now, you will get frustrated. In fact, I remember when I was playing late at night one time, and Juliana kept invading me. It was the same player who kept invading me over and over again. I just wanted to go kill the twins. Not kill the twins. I just wanted to go into the bunker so I could get this rare legendary weapon, bring it back, and make it a permanent weapon I could have for repeat playthroughs. But every time I wanted to get to the bunker, Juliana would invade me, and this guy was really good, and he kept killing me over and over again. I was like, damn it, Juliana, I just want to get into the... Oh, so what cult's feeling? See where we are? This is lunonarrative synchronicity. This is when the story and the gameplay perfectly meet together, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was frustrating, but it was frustrating in a way the game designers intended it to be. And I have to admit, it is the only time I've ever encountered a multiplayer element that made the playthrough of a single-player video game a better experience. Like, I genuinely think you will not get the same experience with this game if you do not have some people invading you online with it. There is just no comparison for the two experiences. In one side, you have an actual human intellect facing you off in these maps, preventing your progress. You have to learn to overcome and adapt. Whereas the bot is just, it's basically just a bonus. Because see, one of the things that makes it really fair is that you have a slab, which is sort of like superpowers. You can equip two other ones, but your base one, the one you got, each visionary has one. You can get new ones by killing them, taking their slab, and using the time magic stuff to infuse it so it'll always stay with you for repeat playthroughs. And you can equip two of them at once for any one map. Now, they give you lots of cool powers. You can teleport, you can connect health, there's a lot of cool stuff I'm going to talk about. But your power is that you can come back 2 times, the first 2 times you die in a map, at any one time period, you get to resurrect slightly before where you did. It's basically spawning at the previous bonfire in Dark Souls, essentially. But not, at the beginning of the level like in Demon Souls. And what's really interesting about this is that when you kill Juliana and absorb her, time remnant, you get your charges back. So if you fight a bot, and it's really easy to kill, you essentially just got 2 free extra charges on your respawn. But if you fight a human Juliana and you're forced to use up all your respawns fighting her, you get them restored. So you get to continue onward as if you didn't have that encounter, but you still have to get past the hurdle. Basically, it rewards the player for beating Juliana without punishing the rest of their run because they used up their respawns. Which is the major problem, is that she might force you to use up your respawns. This is a nice balance between gameplay functionality and enjoying the benefits of the multiplayer can give to the single-player campaign without detracting from it by making every invasion seem like an immediate downside. In fact, oftentimes, Juliana invading you, especially in the early game, can be a good thing. If you manage to kill her, you'll oftentimes get a really rare weapon, you'll get lots of residium so you can infuse stuff after this map, and you'll get extra respawns, which means if you lost a respawn before she invaded and only lost 1 respawn when she invaded, you essentially netted a respawn from her, from that encounter. In fact, at times, if I'd kill her without using either of my respawns, I would leave her corpse there, her residium corpse, and I would go try and kill one of the visionaries. And if I lost both my lives doing it, I could run back to Juliana and reset them. Basically, she turns into a bonus as long as you learn how to deal with her. Which is just great. It's fantastic. This was so well thought out that I'm like, maybe multiplayer can enhance single-player video game experiences. It just has to be done very carefully like this. So I did have to really praise that. I know I went on about it for a while, but I really did because your opposition with Juliana makes or breaks a lot of this game. Now, the rest of the game is basically you go into these maps, slowly unlocking secrets. You usually have to like find codes hidden throughout different journal entries. All the major players will move around to different places based on this protocol, or sometimes their own personal desires throughout the day. Like there's this one guy that always holds a party in the main city at night. The scientist who's out for most of the day, but is always back in his lab in the evening that you have to convince to go to the party so you can kill both of them at the same time. You find out two of the characters are in sort of like a hidden relationship, and they have this secret makeout bunker they go to, so you have to figure out where it is, how to get in. You have to unlock secret codes. You find out the codes are tied to these paintings. You have to go, kill one of them. You have to kill both of them separately in order to get the information you need from both their hideouts in order to access the bunker, which is all really cool. And there are lots of things, like if you go to this one place, you can do something in the morning here. Then you can use the information, then you can use the effects that had on the character's movements. That means, like, for example, if you save this one character, then this masked guy, he'll be available later on. And you can use him to get this headpiece. Then you can grab a battery, and that will allow you to access this secret shop, which will sell things that can help you access other areas. And it's things like that, You slowly gain a better understanding of the maps, character movements, character plots, and there's this very nice and helpful menu chart that helps you chart out all the things you learn and how they affect things. There's even like a web of connection to help you lead you to the next major story beat, and even help you find... It also even keeps track of major weapon upgrades, like, hey, this is where you gotta go for slabs. Hey, you still need to kill this person a few more times in order to find the other slab upgrades. Hey, we found rumors about this rare weapon hidden in this area. Maybe we should go check this place. And these little things help push you further and further into the loop. Eventually, you manage to set up a specific time in order to kill everyone. There's this one doctor who follows the protocol to a T, but in the morning when the protocols, when your betrayal is first getting announced, she's already at this cult thing that she's going to do. Now she's going to finish that and immediately go to her secret bunker. If you don't kill her here, you can't do anything else. Okay, we got to kill her in the morning. So that takes her in the morning slot. What else can we do? Oh, we can do this sabotage. We can sabotage the fireworks for Frank, and they'll blow up on him at night. Okay, Frank's taken care of here too, so we got 2 people in the morning. Well, we can't do we got the 2 lovebirds in the afternoon. At night, we can get 3 people to the party. But only if we go to this other place during the day. Okay, so we got a pattern. Here. Take out 2 people, set up 3 people at night, and then take out 2 in the evening. Bam! We have got it. And then you gotta kill them all in one day without screwing up, making sure you're going to all the right places. And yeah, it's an actual challenge. And the more people you kill, the better weapons, the more paranoid everyone gets, the environment gets harder, there's more, it gets more difficult the more visionaries you kill. So when you go for the final 3 at night, you've already killed 4, you've killed essentially 3 visionaries, and then one of them dies at the very beginning, so everyone's on like super heightened alert. And yeah, it's really difficult. I like it. And in fact, the party is also one of the most populated areas, which makes it really hard to sneak around, and you can't just guns blazing. Well, actually you can. I'll get to that in a moment. But it's really difficult. That leads me to the next thing I really like, is that even though you can complete these things stealthily, like there's a nail gun, you can do melee takedowns or take down everyone silently, the game doesn't actually encourage stealth that much in a lot of ways. Like, don't get me wrong, you're rewarded if you can do stealth well, but if you don't do stealth, hey, there's healing items everywhere. Go to town, man, with an automatic rifle. If you can take them out, you can take them out. Basically, if you get swarmed by a lot of people, you can just kill everyone in the immediate vicinity. It's like, oh well, no one around here knows you've been alerted unless they got a radio. And did you make sure to take out the radio people before you went all ham? Cool, then we're all good, baby. No one else knows you're here yet? Run away somewhere? Start getting the grub on other groups. You can pick up stealth or go full action, man. I actually did that on a few occasions, just rushing into the main party and starting to take out everyone from the rooftops. Bam, 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 bam. Drop dead. So there's this one ability where you can, make everyone around there share damage. So if you hit one person for lethal, everyone around them will drop dead. And there's this really cool thing you can do at the party where you can mass net a bunch of people, stealth one person, and you can just watch as, the whole crowd's necks snap all at once. It's really impressive. The most impressive ability is probably the blink teleportation ability. It's essentially the same shadow walk teleportation thing as Dishonored, which is really useful. There's even an ability for it that's like one of the coolest upgrades for a teleportation power I've ever seen. Basically, if you're jumping in midair and you activate a teleportation power, you will stop in midair so you can properly aim it for a time. And this was so useful, I just never took it off. Combine that with an increased range, and this teleportation ability will be one of your best friends in this. Make sure you go for the shift slab immediately. In addition, there's the Havoc slab if you really want to go full ham. It turns you into essentially a giant tank guy, and there are even upgrades to help you dish out more damage while you're upgraded like this. And there's just so many interesting characters. You got a, rogue computer programmer / game designer who built like this live action LARPing session. You've got this artist who lives in a freaking nuclear reactor, and if you alert everyone when you go in, like the alarm's fully sounded, she'll set off the freaking nuke, and you'll have to kill her and escape before it blows up. You got your classic scientist, but she's got multiple versions of herself from other timelines all talking to her. You got this party dog guy who wears a wolf mask and talks like he's like, the leader of a pack. You've got some, a mobster turned rock star who hosts the radio show. Let's see. You got the cult leader who's only available in the morning. She's like, "We will be reborn again and again, so let this first person do the first death of our new era," and slowly lowers a person into a gas chamber into a floor filled with like toxic gas. Because, he's gonna come back tomorrow, and then we can all take turns dying as the first person to die each loop until we are reborn, because she's leading a cult. And then you got another guy who was like the founder of the Aeon program who helped free you from a mental asylum a long time ago, because you knew about this place. I'll get into how that happened when I talk about the story a little more. And he's like this like self-proclaimed pseudoscientist who actually calls himself a pseudoscientist, but says it like a badge of honor. And he's like this conspiracy theorist. If the conspiracy theories he were talking about were actually real, he's like, I found a great device to hear the future. It's like, we're trapped in a time loop. He realizes it's like, oh shit, you just realized? Well, it's nice. You're about to loop, buddy. Good luck with that. You're just about to loop. So you can't really do anything about this. And he keeps finding out over and over again, realizing what's going on right at the end, and it's hilarious. And then you got Juliana, who is, again, like the star of the show alongside Colt. Both her and Colt's voice actor do a lot of good work. Their interplay really forms the basis for a lot of the comedy in the game. And that's basically it. Moving on to the story, it's pretty basic. So you're basically in this, like, really farther northern isle. It's implied you're in the same world as Dishonored. And this Russian-ish country found out about this unstable time anomaly on this island. And they sent you in an experimental rocket to go scope it out. They set up military bases, but eventually the research was shut down because it was too unstable. And you were lost in the time anomaly for years and years. When you resurfaced, you hadn't aged, but the world outside had gone on. You had, you were locked up in a mental asylum, but the founder of the Aeon program realized what you were saying was true. So Igor Sterling went ahead and freed you, and the two of you gathered other visionaries to help you establish the Aeon program, and you'd fulfill this loop. But once it started, you and Juliana were the only ones who can remember. Dr. Wenji, she was a scientist, was working on making a way for everyone to remember. She creates this device that allows you to store items between loops, like basically give them a solid place in time. And in each loop, there are items that are glowing with temporal energy that are sort of there as like temporal distortion. There are items that appeared in other loops that sort of manifest there as like constants due to the energy they represent. And you can feed off that energy and use it to get upgrade items or to make your items permanent between loops. So she's constantly trying to work on she's trying to work on making it so everyone else can remember what goes on between each loop. She's one of the only ones who've realized what's going on. She's working a bit closer with Juliana than the others. And yeah, you basically just go through this loop over and over again. And it's implied you've been there a long time. So this is major spoilers for the ending. So I originally chose the ending where I chose to spare Juliana, we became friends, and we just kind of enjoyed the loop, killing people we didn't like over and over again because nothing mattered, living forever in immortality. But then afterwards, I went ahead and did the loop again, because you can keep playing after you do it. Essentially, like, that run through never happened, but your items are still there, and you can keep playing, keep discovering secrets. I really like the post-game, it's fun. So I decided to go through again, and I got to Juliana, and I killed her. And that breaks the loop. So you kill her, and then you have to throw yourself as the 8th and last visionary off the cliff. You die, and you wake up on the beach. Juliana standing over you with a gun. She's visibly extremely upset because she thought you were finally going to understand what was going on. You were finally going to listen to her, but you didn't. So she can't bring herself to kill you because, spoiler alert, you're her father. Yeah, it's really messed up timeline-wise, but it makes sense because you were trapped in a 17-year time loop. And anyway, she walks away, teleporting away with some mysterious power that's implied to be the power of the anomaly that she was harnessing, but since you're not in the loop anymore, that raises a lot of questions. Questions which are only further exacerbated when you look out, realize the ocean has dried up, which means you've probably been here for, like, millions of years. The sky is like an orange, purplish color with strange cloud formation that vaguely resemble the anomaly, which makes you think that either the apocalypse has occurred, and this is nuclear Armageddon we're in, or the time loop has somehow expanded outward and the entire world is now trapped in some really deep shit. We might be setting up a sequel here. Which, if we're setting up a sequel, I'm all for that. I would love to do that. Maybe a sequel like Juliana. Because, actually, you could probably do a prequel, because apparently, originally anyway, what Juliana tells you at the end is, Colt decides the Aeon program has to go after the loop starts up, and him and Juliana are the only ones who can remember for a long time. And he starts randomly hunting down and killing Juliana. Then she gets good enough to start hunting him as vengeance, because she hates him. Starts hating him, begins to, attack him, trying to keep the loop going. So essentially, you could have like a prequel game where Colt goes rogue and Juliana has to try and stop him from getting to the loop's end. And then, eventually becoming badass enough to be the hunter, which is have a prequel to this one. Then you could, do a sequel game where maybe the time loop stuff is, all over the planet, and you have, a week or something like that. Maybe expand the time into, a 7-day format in different areas around the world. I'm just trying to think of how you could do it, but there are a lot of different fun things you could do here, and I think this time loop mechanic definitely needs to be explored more, because if you added a bit more places, one of the major problems is after you learn everything, it doesn't take too long to learn everything, and once you do, you kind of have to follow the set path. But if they had, multiple ways you could achieve victory, and maybe, one or two more time periods, one or two more locations added in, there'd be so much fun variance there that I just really think it'd be a lot of fun. I would love to see them expand on this on a Dishonored 2 or a Dishonored prequel. Whichever way they go, I'm all for it. And I think this is a fantastic game that people really need to try out. Apparently it won Best Art Direction in the GVAs. And although I'm loath to say anything about the VGAs, they're a horrible award show. They're like the frat boy of game show, award shows. And it's annoying that that's video games, award season. But they did give that prize for a reason. The art direction is fantastic. It has this really cool orange color scheme as its base, and it has this really nice retro 60 vibe with advanced technology and weird time stuff. It's all fantastic. The game looks great. It plays really well. I had a few loading problems with my graphics card is old, and I haven't been able to upgrade things to, the scalpers. Screw scalpers, by the way. Screw them so hard. I really wanted to upgrade before I got this game. But, yeah. All in all, it's a solid game with a nice core premise. Really interesting, unique mechanics that they implemented into the main story. They somehow married single and multiplayer gaming. The warring factions that had always hated each other. How is it done? It's beautiful. And even Dark Souls struggled with this, because invasions felt like a strict downside, but here they can even be an upside. I'm sorry, I keep banging on about that, but I'm just so amazed that they managed to mix those two elements so perfectly. Anyway, that's about it. I don't really have much more else to say. So, yeah. I'll be here next time. I've started watching The Wheel of Time, and spoiler, there's not good things to say about there. Oh my, how I'm disappointed. The book was so much better. Now I sound like that guy. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm probably not going to be reviewing the Wheel of Time next time. I'll see what I'm going to be revealing there. Also, in the future, either, I think, next week, not this Friday, but like next Tuesday or Friday, I will be releasing a video, episode of this podcast that's going to be like this year in review. I'll go over what my favorite stuff is, so tune in for that. Actually, this Friday we'll be reviewing The Matrix, the new Matrix movie, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and thank you for listening to the Dragon's Library. Please subscribe to this podcast to be notified of new episodes. The Dragon's Library releases new episodes Tuesday and Friday each week, and you can follow us on Twitter at dragon_library2. If you want to suggest an episode topic, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.